The colony ship Artemis drifted in the endless black, its vast hull scarred from meteor storms and decades of travel. Humanity had stretched far beyond Earth, carving homes from barren rocks and breathing life into airless voids. But on the fringe of the Orion sector, whispers traveled faster than signals, stories of a creature, an alien whose name alone silenced entire mess halls. They called her Nyx of the Veil, an alien vampire. Not a human myth, but a reality wrapped in terror, pale as moonlight, feeding not on blood but on the life force itself. Colonies vanished overnight where she was rumored to appear. Entire ships found gutted, their crews lifeless husks with fear etched into frozen faces. And now, aboard the Artemis, she was real. Beginning. Elias Ward had never been much for stories. A pilot, an occasional mechanic. He had seen too much war to flinch at whispers. Humans feared what they did not understand, and Elias prided himself on being the kind of man who never let fear lead him. So when alarms rang and the Artemis dropped out of hyperspace unexpectedly, when crewmen whispered of something inside the ship, Elias tightened his gloves and kept working. The hallways of the Artemis grew quieter each hour. People avoided the unlit sectors, entire decks were abandoned, and even the captain's steady voice cracked over the comms. Then came the night Elias found her. He had gone to repair a damaged conduit in Section 7, where the emergency lights flickered like dying candles. He carried only a toolkit and a sidearm, boots echoing against the hollow deck. The shadows there felt heavy, clinging like smoke. "You shouldn't be here." The voice came from nowhere and everywhere, smooth and soft yet layered with an alien timbre. Elias turned, hand brushing the grip of his pistol. She stepped from the dark. Tall, lithe, her skin faintly luminescent like liquid silver. Hair black as void, eyes glowing faintly crimson as if embers burned inside them. Her face, striking, angular, beautiful in a way both regal and terrifying. Every instinct screamed predator. Elias didn't draw. Instead he spoke. "You must be the one everyone's terrified of." Her crimson eyes widened slightly, a flicker of surprise breaking through centuries of practiced menace. "They call me monster, vampire, devourer." She drifted closer, the air seeming to bend around her. "Everyone trembles, but not you, human." "Why?" Elias met her gaze. "Because fear never fixed a broken engine. Fear doesn't help me fly a ship. You're just standing there, not ripping my throat out. So why should I run?" Her lips curved into something between a smile and a snarl. "Curious. You smell of defiance." Middle. Nyx revealed herself over days. Or perhaps Elias simply refused to flee when others did. Where crew abandoned whole corridors, Elias walked them. And where she appeared pale and silent, he would simply nod, speak, or even crack a joke. At first, she hovered at the edge of sight, testing him like a wolf circling prey. She would whisper, probe his thoughts, appear in mirrors when no one else could see her. Yet Elias never wavered. One night in the mess hall, he found her sitting across from him, uninvited. She examined the untouched tray of food with faint disdain. "This sustenance of yours is meaningless to me. You do not wonder why I am here, why I have not slaughtered you." Elias leaned back. "I figure if you wanted me dead, I wouldn't still be breathing. So either you're not as cruel as people say, or you're just really picky." Her eyes flashed. "You mock me. Maybe. Or maybe I'm trying to make you laugh. Hard to tell with you." Something in her expression softened. For the first time, her voice trembled. "Do you know how long it has been since someone dared look at me without terror?" Elias studied her. Behind the regal menace, he saw something hollow, Loneliness. No, he admitted. But I'm guessing too long. From then on, their encounters grew longer. She told him fragments of her story. Her people were energy feeders, evolving in shadowy worlds where suns were weak. They lived centuries, feeding on the bioelectric force of other beings. Civilizations crumbled when they fed unchecked, and so the galaxy cursed them as vampires. She was the last of her kind. Every species trembled when we approached, Nick said one evening, her voice soft as starlight. They hunted us to extinction. They could not kill me, but they feared me. Do you understand what it means to be feared by all? Elias held her gaze. Sounds like hell. Her eyes widened. You would not call it power. Power's worthless if you've got no one to share it with. For a long moment silence stretched. Then, faintly, Nyx whispered, Everyone is afraid of me. But why are not you afraid of me, human? And Elias answered simply, Because I see you. Not the monster. Just you. Rising conflict. The crew of the Artemis noticed. Rumors spread. The vampire spared Elias Ward. Some called him insane. Others believed he was enthralled. The captain demanded answers. Ward, she snapped over the comm, you are fraternizing with a predator that could kill us all. Or maybe, Elias replied, she's not our enemy. But when supply drones vanished from orbit, drained of all power, suspicion grew. The crew armed themselves. Mutiny brewed in whispers. One desperate night, alarms blared. The crew had cornered Nyx in the reactor bay. Plasma rifles trained on her glowing form. Stand aside, Ward, shouted the security chief. She's feeding on our reserves. We end this now. Elias moved between them and her, spreading his arms. She hasn't harmed anyone aboard this ship. She drained those drones, maybe she was starving. You shoot her. You prove every reason she had to believe the galaxy hates her. Nyx stood silent behind him, eyes flickering with both fury and fear. The predator feared rejection more than death. The standoff broke when the ship shook violently. An enemy vessel, a raider ship, had tracked them out of hyperspace. Its cannons tore into the Artemis, shields failing. Chaos erupted. Ward, get out of the way, the captain cried. But Elias turned to Nyx. Can you help us? Her crimson eyes glowed brighter, energy rippling across her skin. If I unleash my hunger, I could destroy them. But it will terrify your crew. Elias nodded. Then let them be terrified. Just save them. Climax. Nyx became a storm. She drifted into the void outside the hull, her body glowing like a living star. She spread her arms, feeding not on humans but on the ship's own reactor surge, channeling it through her body. The raider vessel fired volley after volley, but the beams bent toward her like rivers to a sea. She absorbed them, crimson light growing blinding, until with one scream that shook the comms, she unleashed all of it back in a single wave. The raider ship vaporized. Nothing remained but drifting ash. Inside the Artemis, silence fell. The crew watched the alien vampire float back, her form dimming, exhaustion etched across her features. She landed in the hangar where Elias rushed to catch her as she stumbled. Her whisper barely carried. I could have consumed you all. I chose not to. Elias smiled faintly, steadying her. I know. And now maybe they'll see it too. Ending. It took weeks for the crew to accept her, but survival had a way of changing minds. They saw she was not a monster. At least not the kind the galaxy painted her as. She was a weapon when needed, yes, but also a being who longed for trust, for belonging.